Mr. Buschman.
Thank you for inviting me here this evening. You have the papers, my community activities. I won't go over that. I think my record speaks for itself and shows my dedication to the city. But let me remind you of what you'll get if you choose me for this council seat. 17 years of proven dedication to improving our city and the conditions for the residents. I'm a respected team player. Whether it was on the PTA, the Chamber of Commerce, or any committee I've sat on, I'm willing to be a participant or a leader whenever necessary. I've also worked with some of the staff and department heads, current department heads, and I think that they would tell you that I'm always courteous and professional when dealing with them. I'm a successful local small business owner for about 25 years. The newspaper asks, what's your occupation? So you put photographer. Photographer doesn't say it, though. Again, I'm not just a photographer. I have 100 bosses every year. I'm responsible. I need to listen to each of my clients so that I turn around a product that they like, that they're satisfied with. Part of my job is building relationships to continue my business. As a small business owner, I have to plan for the future, which means budgeting, paying attention to revenue, and making sure I can cover operating costs. As a small business owner, I have to stay up to date with new technologies and new laws, and I consider myself a lifelong learner. I'm always trying to learn whatever the new thing is, and I really love learning. I know the basics of how the city runs, and I'm ready to get started right away to carry on the work of the city. My schedule is flexible, and I can make the time that is necessary for this. Also, I personally know many of the Peninsula's civic leaders and elected officials, from the neighboring city council members to the Board of Supervisors to our State Assemblyman Jerry Hill to our U.S. Congresswoman Jackie Spear. And I'm willing and able to sit down and talk with them about issues of San Bruno and ready to advocate for our city when necessary. San Bruno's mission statement says, "The city of San Bruno exists to provide exemplary services for our community that enhance and protect the quality of life." If you look at my record, I think you'll agree that I've been trying to enhance and protect the quality of life in San Bruno for years. And finally, I think I possess the same core values of our city, including integrity, teamwork, friendliness, and commitment to community. I appreciate you considering me for this appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Buschman?
Yes, I'm destined to be the first one here. Thank you. What do you see San Bruno doing in the next 5 years? What would you like us to have energy for and make time for?
I'm really excited. I've been trying to attend all the downtown and transit corridor plan meetings, the committee meetings, not just the public meetings. I'm really excited about that taking off. Again, there's great opportunity for growth. There's great opportunity for a revitalization of the downtown, so that's one thing I'd like to see. 5-year plan, a library would be nice. It gets down to the dollars and cents in the budget of it. I think it's important, though, whether it's the downtown plan or any other plan, we really do need to take the time and bring our business areas up as much as we can, enhance them, even if it's not the whole plan, even if it's not bringing everything, all the high-rise or all the density that some of that calls for. We need to do what we can now to, again, enhance the business areas so that we continue to attract customers and that we have services here that our residents will appreciate too, and they'll keep coming back and shopping and dining in our area. Okay. Oh, and the grade separation. I mean, that's, again, 5-year plan. We're going to have a nice grade separation. Hopefully it'll be something that'll look nice. It'll be like a great gateway to our city too.
Okay. One of the things we have to do sometimes is say no, even though something looks great or something that we're asked to do would please your neighbor or your family or whatever,
Sure.
but sometimes we have to say no. How would you deal with that?
It's, you would hope that people would understand that as a council person, you make the hard decisions. That is your job. You need to make sure that the city is fiscally responsible, and you do have to make those hard calls, and that's, I'm willing to make those hard calls.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
What are your views or thoughts in regards to shared services, potential consolidations, whether it's on public safety or maybe even beyond those scopes?
From an economical standpoint, usually shared services means you will be saving some money. With public safety, though, my concern is, are the police and fire and the emergency responders getting there in time? You don't want to save money and lose response time. That's not acceptable. I know every couple of years that the shared response, consolidation idea comes up. I don't see why we should not talk about it. It feels great to go talk to Millbrae or Burlingame or Hillsborough, whoever it is, and let's see what the plans are. Let's see if there's opportunity for, maybe it's not 4 cities, maybe it's just 2 cities. Willing to look at it. Just again, the bottom line is you don't want the response times to be affected.
I know you just talked about your thoughts for 5 years, now to 5 years away, but what would you think would be your 3 top priorities?
Well, the downtown area and the business district, I think, like I said, regardless of whether we do the big downtown plan that the corridor, transit corridor plan is, we need to do what we can now to improve those business areas, whether it be clean up the parking lots and make those prettier, whether it's take away any disincentives that people have to come to our business districts. Did you say top 3?
Yeah, you got 2 more to go.
Sorry, I was like, was it 5 or 3? Okay. Again, with the budget as it is, it's kind of a backhanded way, but we need to make sure our public safety doesn't hurt in the next 5 years because of, make sure public safety doesn't hurt because of the budget. So we need to maintain those response times and that service. And number 3, I'm worried about the grade separation. Again, you would hope that it comes through and we're not too disrupted, and what's left is something nice. But I just want to make sure there's attention paid to that.
Thank you. Ken?
Here I go. Scott, one of the first things you stated is that you're a respected team player. And I mean, I know you and we've worked together. Can you give an example of where you have been a team player even though you may not have agreed with the decision of the team? And how did you deal with that?
Well, I'll use the chamber as an example. We've set, every year we had an annual planning meeting and we prioritized the goals of the chamber. And, sometimes the events that we decided to participate in weren't the events that I thought were that important. But I was right there with them because as a group we decided that. And I stand with the group, I stand with that decision, and I do whatever it takes from the lowest job to the highest job, and I want to make sure that job gets, if that's what's decided, I want to make sure that job gets done as best as it can. So I just move forward with it.
Okay. Were you satisfied that you fought hard enough for your, for the things that you wanted?
Oh yeah, certainly, yeah, and I think again my record would show that I stand up, and whether it's an unpopular view, I'll stand up and I'll come here and take my 3 minutes and tell you, here's what I think, and this is what I think you should do. And at the end of the day, if you decide not to, I have no ill feelings. I would still participate with in this environment with you, and that has happened. And you know, I know that you as a board has to, again, prioritize and make those decisions. I'm willing to, you know, be part of that. And again, I wouldn't be one that would say, oh, well, I'm going to take my football
You won't
and go home
pout,
and play,
yeah,
you know,
okay.
'cause, you know, I played my game, yeah.
And lastly, I believe you're familiar with, being that you ran for the council a few years ago, and so you're familiar with the operations of the city, and you realize what we've been going through the last few years.
Certainly.
Let's say let's say you sit up here, and in the next few months, Jim O'Leary comes forward and tells us that we have a $500,000 shortfall. And we've laid off, we've done furlough, we've done, and so all the cuts are there. Have any idea where you'd start in trying to absorb that $500,000?
$500,000's a big, a big number. For
We
a
get
$500,000
hit with big numbers.
for a $500,000, honestly, I don't know. But here's what you know, I've looked through the budget. I've skimmed through it. I plan to sit down and read the whole thing cover to cover. I've read draft EIRs and EIRs, so that's not a problem. The things that pop out at me, there's some big overtime issues in there. And again, these are things that you've probably looked through, so I don't want to second guess you, but there's big overtime in there, and there's big benefit. There's a big chunk of benefits in there. Those are the two places that I would go first. For revenue, one of the ideas that I thought of and then noticed that on the National League of Cities is you identify those businesses that are in town that are operating without business license and permits, and that could bring you in some more additional revenue. And the last piece is, again, not to second guess, because I haven't sat down when you've made the decisions, is I know usually we're talking about the $500,000 or the $250,000 or the $100,000. So if that's what you've been looking at, or if that's what departments have been looking at, and department heads have been looking at, my thought is sometimes, you know, and I know this is a small business owner, sometimes it's those little dollars that add up. So if you're looking for the big things, maybe it's harder sometimes. But if you say, okay, we have 200 employees in the city. Let's find 100 ways to save $1,000. You've just saved $100,000 if half of your employees come up with an idea.
Pretty good. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.